Okay, there we go. We are live. So welcome, good evening to our audience, wherever you may be joining us from around the world in the pandemic. We are Soul in Bliss, based in Los Angeles, California, and I wanted to welcome you. Tonight we will be reading for you Shakespeare's comedy, tragedy, history play, Troilus and Cressida. It's written around 1601, and it was squeezed in between the comedies and the tragedies in Shakespeare's first folio due to a copyright issue. And in a lot of ways, that's exactly where it belongs, squeezed between the comedies and the tragedies. I found an amazing amount of discoveries that we've made with this play in such a short time. We will, after we've done the reading, which is about 60 minutes, we will have kind of an impromptu chat with the cast about the play, about the discoveries that we made. And if you'd like to comment on our YouTube channel, we'd love to hear what you have to say, or any comments or thoughts that you have about the play or the production. For those of you that don't know the play, simply this: Troilus and Cressida swear they will always be true to one another, but in the 7th year of the siege of Troy, their innocence is tested and exposed to the savage, corrupting influence of war with tragic consequences. It should be titled Troilus and Cressida and War, because war plays such a huge part in this production. As I said, after the reading, in about an hour and 5 minutes, we'll have a little discussion with the actors of the company. I will introduce myself, and then I'll let all of the other actors introduce themselves of what parts that they're playing tonight. I'm Richard, and I'm playing Diomedes.
I'm Paul. I'm playing Ulysses and Paris.
I'm Megan, and I'm playing Pandrus, Achilles, and Soldier.
I'm Luann, and I'm playing Agamemnon, Thersites, and I'll be reading the stage directions.
I'm another Megan, and I'll be your prologue, Hector, and Menelaus.
I'm Anna.
Hi, I'm Glenn Thomas Cruz, and I'm reading Troilus.
I'm Maddie, and I am Aeneas, Helen, and Patroclus.
Excellent. I think that is everybody. So, narrator, I give it to you.
The tragedy of Troilus and Cressida. Enter prologue.
In Troy lies the scene. From the Isle of Greece, the princes Orgulus, their high blood chafed, have to the port of Athens sent their ships fraught with the ministries and instruments of cruel war. Beginning in the middle, starting thence away, to what may be digested in a play. Like to find fault, do as your pleasures are. Now, good or bad, 'tis but the chance of war.
Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Pandrus and Troilus.
Why should I war without the walls of Troy that find such cruel battle here within? The Greeks are strong and skillful to their strength, fierce to their skill, and to their fierceness valiant. But I am weaker than a woman's tear, tamer than sleep, fonder than ignorance, less valiant than the virgin in the night, and skillless as at Priam's royal table do I sit, and when fair Cressida comes into my thoughts, oh, so traitor then she comes when she is thence.
Well, she looked yesternight fairer than ever I saw her look, or any woman else.
Pandarus, I tell thee, Pandarus, when I Do tell thee there my hopes lie drowned. Reply not in how many fathoms deep they lie indrenched.
I speak no more than truth.
Thou dost not speak so much.
Because she's kin to me, therefore she's not so fair as Helen.
Say I, she is not fair?
I do not care whether you do or no. She's a fool to stay behind her father. Let her to the Greeks, and so I'll tell her the next time I see her.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 2. Enter Cressida and Pandras.
Good morrow, Aunt Pandras.
Good morrow, cousin Cresid. When were you at Ilium?
This morning, Aunt.
What were you talking of when I came? Helen was not up, was she?
Hector was gone, but Helen was not up.
And so Hector was stirring early.
That's where we talking of, and of his anger.
Was he angry?
So says he here.
True, he was so. I know the cause too. He'll lay about him today, I can tell them that. And there's Troilus. Will not come far behind him. Let them take heed of Troilus. I can tell them that too.
What, is he angry too?
Who? Troilus? Troilus is the better man of the two.
Jupiter, there is no comparison.
What? Not between Troilus and Hector? Do you know a man if you see him?
Aye, if I ever saw him before I knew him.
Hark,
Sound a retreat.
they're coming from the field. Shall we stand up here and see them as they pass toward Ilium? Good niece, do sweet niece Cressida.
At your pleasure.
Enter Aeneas and passes over the stage.
That's Aeneas. Is not that a brave man? He's one of the flowers of Troy.
Who's that?
Enter Atenor and passes over the stage.
That's Antenor. He has shroud wit. He's one of the soundest judgment in Troy, whosoever a proper man of person.
Enter Hector and passes over the stage.
That's Hector. That, look you, there's a brave man, niece. Look how he looks. There's a countenance.
Enter Paris and passes over the stage.
Yonder comes Paris. Yonder comes Paris. Look ye yonder, niece. Is not a gallant man too? Is it not? Who said he came hurt home today? He's not hurt. Why, this will do Helen's heart good now.
Enter Helenus and passes over the stage.
Ah, that's Helenus. I think he went not forth today.
What sneaking fellow comes yonder?
Enter Troilus and passes over the stage.
Where? Yonder. That's Deiphobus. Ah, 'tis Troilus. There's a man, niece. Brave Troilus, the prince of chivalry. Mark him, note him. Oh, brave Troilus. Look well upon him, niece. Look you, how his sword is bloodied, and his helm more hacked than Hector's, and how he looks, and how he goes.
There is among the Greeks Achilles a better man than Troilus.
Achilles, a drayman, a porter, a very camel.
Well.
Act 1, Scene 3. Enter Agamemnon, Nestor, Ulysses, Diomedes, Menelaus, and others. Princes, what grief hath set the jaundice on your cheeks?
The observance of thy goodly seat, great Agamemnon, Nestor shall apply thy latest words. In the reproof of chance lies the true proof of men.
Agamemnon, thou great commander, nerve and bone of Greece, hear what Ulysses speaks beside the applause and approbation, the which, most mighty for thy place and sway, and thou, most reverend for thy stretched out life, I give to both your speeches, which were such as Agamemnon in the hand of Greece should hold up high in brass.
Speak, Prince of Ithaca.
Troy, yet upon his bases, had been down, and the great Hector's sword had lacked a master but for these instances.
Most wisely hath Ulysses here discovered the fever whereof all our powers sick.
The nature of the sickness found, Ulysses. What is the remedy?
The great Achilles, whom opinion crowns the sinew in the forehead of our host, having his ear full of his airy frame, grows dainty of his worth, and in his tent lies mocking our designs.
And in the limitation of these twain, who, as Ulysses says, opinion crowns with an imperial voice, many are infect.
They tax our policy and call it cowardice, count wisdom as no member of the war, forestall prescience, and esteem no act but that of hand.
Trumpet. What trumpet? Look, Menelaus.
From Troy.
What would you for our tent?
Is this great Agamemnon's tent, I pray you?
Even this. Sir, you of Troy, call yourself Aeneas?
I, Greek, that is my name.
What's your affair, I pray you?
Sir, pardon, 'tis for Agamemnon's ears. I bring a trumpet to awake his ear.
Speak frankly as the wind. Is it not Agamemnon's sleeping hour? That thou shalt know, Troyan, he is awake, and he tells thee so himself.
Trumpet, blow loud. We have great Agamemnon here in Troy. A prince called Hector, Priam is his father, who in this dull and long-continued truce is rusty grown. He bade me take a trumpet, and to this purpose speak. Kings, princes, lords, to him this challenge. Tomorrow with his trumpet call, midway between your tents and walls of Troy, to rouse a Grecian that is true in love. If any come, Hector shall honor him. If none, he'll say in Troy when he retires, the Grecian dames are sunburnt and not worth the splinter of a lance, even much so.
This shall be told our lovers, Lord Aeneas. If none of them have soul in such a kind, we left them all at home. But we are soldiers, and that soldier a mere recreant prove, that means not, hath not, or is not in love. If then one is, or hath, or means to be, that one meets Hector, if none else, I'll be he. Fair Lord Aeneas, let me touch your hand. To our pavilion shall I lead you first. Achilles shall have word of this intent, so shall each lord of Greece from tent to tent. Yourself shall feast with us before you go and find the welcome of a noble foe. They exit. Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Paris, Troilus, and Hector.
If Helen then be wife, so Sparta's king, as it is known she is, these moral laws of nature and of nation speak aloud to have her back returned. Thus to persist in doing wrong extenuates not wrong, but makes it much more heavy. Hector's opinion is this in way of truth.
I would not wish a drop of Trojan blood spent more in her defense. But worthy Hector, she is a theme of honor and renown, a spur to valiant and magnanimous deeds, whose present courage may beat down our foes, and fame in time to come canonize us.
I am yours, you valiant offspring of Priamus. I have a roisting challenge sent amongst the dull and factious nobles of the Greeks. Will strike amazement to their drowsy spirits. I was advertised, their great general slept, whilst emulation in the army crept. This, I presume, will wake him.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 1. Music sounds within. Enter Pandrus, Helen, and Paris.
Fair be to you, my lord, and to all this fair company. Fair desires and all fair measure, fairly guide them, especially to you, fair queen. Fair thoughts be your fair pillow.
Dear Lord, you are full of fair words.
You speak your fair pleasure, sweet queen. Fair prince, here is good broken music.
You have broke it, cousin, and by my life you shall make it whole again. You shall piece it out with a piece of your performance.
No, he is full of harmony. Let the song be love. This love will undo us all. Oh, Cupid, Cupid, Cupid.
In good troth, it begins so. Love, love, nothing but love still more. For all love's bow shoots buck and doe. The shaft confounds, not that it wounds, but tickles still the sore. These lovers cry, oh ho, they die. Yet that which seems the wound to kill doth turn, oh ho, to ha, ha, he. So dying love lives still. Oh ho, a while, but ha, 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 oh ho, groans out for ha, 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 hey ho.
He hangs the lip at something. You know all, Lord Pandarus.
Farewell, sweet queen.
Commend me to your niece.
I will, sweet queen.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Troilus.
I am giddy. Expectation whirls me round. The imaginary relish is so sweet that it enchants my sense. What will it be when the watery palate taste indeed love's thrice repured nectar? Death, I fear me swooning destruction or some joy too fine, too subtle poem, too tuned sharp in sweetness for the capacity of my ruder powers. I fear it much. And I do fear besides that I shall lose distinction in my joys, as doth a battle when they charge on heaps, the enemy flying.
She's making her ready. She'll come straight. You must be witty now. She does so blush and fetches her wind so short as if she were frayed with a sprite.
Even
Exit
such
Pandarus.
affection doth embrace my bosom.
Enter Pandarus and Cressida.
Come, come. What need you blush? Shame's a baby.
You bereft me of all words, lady.
Words pay no debts. Give her deeds.
She exits.
Will you walk in, my lord?
Cressida, how often have I wished me thus?
Will you walk in, my lord?
Enter Pandarus.
What? Blushing still. Have you not done talking yet?
Well, aunt, what folly I commit, I dedicate to you.
I thank you for that. If my lord get a boy of you, you'll give him me.
You know now your hostages, your aunt's word and my firm faith.
Boldness comes to me now and brings me heart. Prince Troilus, I have loved you night and day for many weary months.
Why was my crescent then so hard to win?
Hard seem one, but I was won, my lord, with a first glance that ever. Pardon me if I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but till now not so much, but I might master it. In faith I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children grown too headstrong for their mother. See, we fools, why have I blabbed? Who shall be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And yet, good faith, I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I shall repent. Your silence, cunning and dumbness from my weakness draws my very soul of. Stop my mouth!
And shall, albeit sweet music, issues thence.
Pretty in faith.
My lord, I do beseech you, pardon me. 'Twas not my purpose thus to beg a kiss. I am ashamed. Heavens, what have I done? For this time I will take leave, my lord.
Your leave, sweet Cressida?
Leave. And you take leave till tomorrow morning.
Pray you, content you.
What offends you, lady?
Sir, mine own company.
You cannot shun yourself.
Let me go and try.
Go to. A bargain made. Seal it. Seal it. I'll be the witness. Here, I hold your hand. Here, my cousins. If ever you prove false to one another, since I have taken such pains to bring you together, let all pitiful goers between be called to the world's end after my name. Call them all panders. Let all constant men be Troiluses, and all false women Cressida, and all brokers between panders. Say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Whereupon I will shew you a chamber, which bed, because it shall not speak of your pretty encounters, press it to death away. And Cupid, grant all tongue-tied maidens here, bed, chamber, and pander to provide this gear.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter Paris and Diomedes with torches.
Tell me, noble Diomed, faith, tell me true, even in the soul of sound good friendship, who in your thoughts merits fair Helen most, myself or Menelaus?
Both alike. He merits well to have her that doth seek her, not making any scruple of her soiler, with such a hell of pain and world of charge. And you, as well, to keep her that defend her, not palating the taste of her dishonor with such a costly loss of wealth and friends.
You are too bitter to your country, woman.
She's bitter to her country. Hear me, Paris. For every false drop in her body veins, a Grecian's life hath sunk. For every scruple of her contaminated carrion weight, a Trojan hath been slain. Since she could speak, she hath not given so many good words breath, as for her Greeks and Trojans suffered death.
Fair Diomed, you do as chapmen do, dispraise the thing that you desire to buy, but we in silence hold this virtue well. Will not commend what we intend to sell. Here lies our way.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Troilus and Cressida.
Here, trouble not yourself, the morn is cold.
And my sweet lord, I'll call my aunt down. She shall unbolt the gates.
Trouble him not, trouble her not. To bed, to bed. Sleep, kill those pretty eyes, and give as soft attachment to thy senses as infants, empty of all thought.
Good morrow then.
I prithee now, to bed.
Are you weary of me?
Oh, Cressida, but that the busy day waked by the lark hath roused the ribald crown, and dreaming night will hid our eyes no longer, I would not from thee.
What? All the doors open here.
Is your aunt?
Enter Pandarus.
Pestilence on her, now she will be mocking. I have such a life.
How now? How now? How go maidenheads? Here you maid, where's my cousin Cressid?
Shall you not mock me, aunt? You bring me to do, and then you flout me too. Who's at that door? Good aunt, go and see how earnestly they knock. Pray you come in. Oh, I would not for half Troy have seen you here.
Who's
Yes.
there? What's the matter?
Good morrow.
Enter Aeneas.
Good morrow, Lord. Good morrow.
Who's there? My lord Aeneas.
Is not Prince Troilus here?
Here? What should he do here?
Come, he is here, my lord. Do not deny him. It doth import him much to speak with me.
Exit Pandarus. Enter Troilus.
Now, what's the matter?
We must give up Diomedes' hand, the Lady Cressida.
Is it concluded so?
By Priam and the general state of Troy. They're at hand and ready to effect it.
how my achievements mock me. I will go meet them. And my lord Aeneas, we met by chance. You did not find me here.
Good, good, my lord. The secrets of nature have not more gift in taciturnity.
They exit. Enter Pandrus and Cressida.
Is it possible? No sooner got but lost. The devil take Antenor. The young prince will go mad.
Gods, what's the matter?
Ah, poor gentleman. A plague upon Antenor.
Good aunt, I beseech you, on my knees. I beseech you, what's the matter?
Thou must be gone, wench. Thou must be gone. Thou art changed for Antenor. Thou must to thy father and be gone from Troilus.
Oh, mortal gods, I will not go.
Thou must.
I will not. Aunt, I have forgot my father. I know no touch of consanguinity, no kin, no love, no blood, no soul so near me as the sweet Troilus. Tear my bright hair and scratch my praised cheeks, crack my clear voice with sobs and break my heart with sounding Troilus. I will not go from Troy.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Paris, Troilus, Aeneas, Antenor, and Diomedes.
It is great morning, and the hour prefixed of her delivery to this valiant Greek comes fast upon us. Good my brother Troilus, tell you the lady what she is to do, and haste her to the purpose.
Walk into her house. I'll bring her to the Grecian presently, and to his hand when I deliver her, think it an altar, and thy brother Troilus a priest, their offering to it his own heart.
I know what 'tis to love, and would, as I shall pity, I could help. Please you walk in, my lords.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 4. Enter Pandrus and Cressida.
Be moderate. Be moderate.
I tell you me of moderation. The grief is fine, full, perfect that I taste, and the violent doth in sense as strong as which I call this. How can I moderate it? If I could temporize with my affection or brew it to a weak and colder palate, the like aliment could I give my grief. My love admits no qualifying dross, no more my grief in such a precious loss.
Enter Troilus.
Here he comes. Ah, sweet ducks.
Troilus.
What a pair of spectacles is here. Let me embrace too. O heart, as the goodly saying is. O heart, heavy heart, why sighest thou without breaking? Where he answers again, because thou canst not ease thy smart by friendship nor by speaking. There was never a truer rhyme. Let us cast away nothing, for we may live to have need of such a verse. We see it. We see it. How now, lambs?
Listen, I love thee in so strange a purity that the blessed gods, as angry with my fancy, more bright in zeal than the devotion which cold lips blow to their deities, take thee from me.
How the gods envy.
Aye, 'tis too plain a case.
True, I must go from Troy.
A hateful truth.
And from Troilus too.
From Troy and Troilus. And suddenly, where injury of chance puts back leave taking, jostles roughly by all time of pause, rudely beguiles our lips of all rejoinder, forcibly prevents our locked embrasures, strangles our dear vows, even in the birth of our own laboring breath. We too, that with so many thousand sighs did by each other, must poorly sell ourselves with the rude brevity and discharge of one. Injurious time now with a robber's haste crams his rich thievery up, he knows not how, as many farewells as be stars in heaven. With distinct breath and consigned kisses to them, he fumbles up into a loose adieu and scants us with a single famished kiss, distaste with the salt of broken tears.
Aeneas within.
My lord, is the lady ready?
Hark, you are called. Some say the genius cries so to him that instantly must die. Bid them have patience, she shall come anon.
Where are my tears? Rain to lay this wind, or my heart will be blown up by the root.
She exits.
We must then to the Grecians.
No remedy.
O woeful crested monks, the merry Greeks. When shall we see again?
Hear me, my love. Be thou but true of heart.
True. How now? What wicked deem is this?
Nay, we must use expostulation kindly, for it is parting from us. I speak not, be thou true, as fearing thee, for I know, for I will throw my glove to death himself, that there is no maculation in thy heart. But be thou true, say I, to fashion in my sequent protestation. Be thou true, and I will see thee.
Oh, you shall be exposed, my lord, to dangers as infinite as imminent. But I'll be true.
And I'll grow friend with danger. Wear this sleeve.
This love. When shall I see you?
I will corrupt the Grecian sentinels. I will corrupt. Pardon? I will corrupt the Grecian sentinels to give me nightly visitation, but yet be true.
Heavens, be true again.
Hear why I speak in love. The Grecian youths are full of quality. They're loving, so well composed with gifts of nature, flowing and swelling o'er with arts and exercise. How novelty may move and parts with person as, alas, a kind of godly jealousy, which I beseech you call a virtuous sin, makes me afeared.
Heavens, you love me not.
Die a villain then. In this I do not call your faith in question, so mainly as my merit. I cannot sing, nor heal the high lavault, nor sweeten talk, nor play at subtle games. Fair virtues all, to which the Grecians are most prompt and pregnant. But I can tell that in each grace of these there lurks a still and dumb discursive devil that tempts most cunningly. Be not tempted.
Do you think I will?
No. But something may be done that we will not. And sometimes we are devils to ourselves when we will tempt the frailty of our powers, presuming of their changeful potency.
Aeneas within. Nay, my good lord.
Come, kiss and let us part.
They kiss. Paris within.
Brother Troilus,
Good brother, come you hither, and bring Aeneas and the Grecian with you.
My lord, will you be true?
Why? Alas, it is my vice, my fault. Whilst others fish with craft for great opinion, I with great truth catch mere simplicity. While some with cunning gild their copper crowns, with truth and plainness I do wear mine bare. Fear not my truth. The moral of my wit is plain and true. There's all the reach of it.
Enter Aeneas, Paris, Antenor, Deiphobus, and Diomedes.
Welcome, Sir Diomed. Here is the lady which for Antenor we deliver you. At the port, Lord, I'll give her hand to thy hand, and by the way, possess thee what she is. Entreat her fair, and by my soul, fair Greek, if e'er thou stand at mercy of my sword, name Cressid, and thy life shall be as safe as Priam is in Ilion.
Fair Lady Cressida, so please you, save the thanks this prince expects. The luster in your eye, heaven in your cheek pleads your fair usage, and to Diomed you shall be mistress and command him wholly.
Grecian, thou dost not use me courteously to shame the zeal of my petition to thee in praising her. I tell thee, Lord of Greece, she is as far high soaring o'er thy praises as thou unworthy to be called her servant. I charge thee, use her well, even for my charge, for by the dreadful Pluto, if thou dost not, though the great bulk Achilles be thy guard, I'll cut thy throat.
Oh, be not moved, Prince Troilus. Let me be privileged by my place and message to be a speaker free. When I am hence, I'll answer to my lust. And know you, Lord, I'll nothing do on charge. To her own worth she shall be prized. But that you say, be it so, I speak in it in my spirit and honor, no.
Come to the port. I'll tell thee, Diomed, this brave shall oft make thee to hide thy head. Lady, give me your hand, and as we walk to our own selves, bend we our needful talk.
Cressida, Diomedes, and Troilus exit. Sound trumpet within.
Hark, Hector's trumpet.
How have we spent this morning? The prince must think me tardy and remiss, that swore to ride before him to the field.
'Tis Troilus' fault. Come to the field with him.
Let us make ready straight.
Yea, with a bridegroom's fresh alacrity, let us address to tend on Hector's heels. The glory of our Troy doth this day lie on his fair worth and single chivalry.
They exit. Scene 5. Enter Cressida, Agamemnon, Nestor, Ulysses, Diomedes, Achilles, Patroclus, and Menelaus.
'Tis he. I ken the matter of his gait. He rises on the toe. That spirit of his in aspiration lifts him from the earth.
Is this the Lady Cressid?
Even she.
Most dearly welcome to the Greeks, sweet lady.
Our general doth salute you with a kiss.
Yet is the kindness but particular. 'Twere better she were kissed in general.
And a very courtly counsel I'll begin. So much for Nestor.
I'll take that winter from your lips, fair lady. Achilles bids you welcome.
I had a good argument for kissing once.
The first was Menelaus's kiss, this mine. Patroclus kisses you.
Oh, this is a dream.
Paris and I kiss evermore for him.
I'll have my kiss, sir. Lady, by your leave.
And kissing do you render or receive?
Both take and give.
I'll make my match to live. The kiss you take is better than you give. Therefore, no kiss.
I'll give you boot. I'll give you 3 for 1.
You're an odd woman. Give even or give none.
An odd woman, lady. Every woman is odd.
Paris is not, for you know 'tis true that you are odd, and he is even with you.
You flip me over the head.
I'll be sworn.
It were no match, your nail against his horn. May I, sweet lady, beg a kiss of you?
You may.
I do desire it.
Why beg then?
Why then, for Venus' sake, give me a kiss, when Helen is a maid again and his.
I'm your debtor. Claim it when it is due.
Never's my day, and then a kiss of you.
Lady, a word. I'll bring you to your father.
Exit Diomedes and Cressida.
A woman of quick sense.
Fie, fie upon her. There's language in her eye, her cheek, her lip.
Is this Achilles?
Is this Achilles?
I am Achilles.
Stand fair. I prithee, let me look on thee.
Behold thy fill.
Nay, I have done ready.
Oh, thou art too brief. I will the second time, as I would by thee, view thee, limb by limb.
As gentle tell me, of what honor was this Cressida in Troy? Had she no lover there that welks her absence?
Oh, sir, to such as boasting shew theirs a mock is due. Will you walk on, my lord? She was beloved, she loved, she is and doth, but still sweet love is food for fortune's tooth.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Enter Diomed, Troilus, and Ulysses.
Stand where the torch may not discover us.
Enter Cressida.
Cressida comes forth to him.
How now, my charge?
Now, my sweet guardian, hark. The word.
Yea, so familiar.
She will sing any man at first sight.
Will you remember?
Remember, yes.
Nay, but do then, and let your mind be coupled with your word.
What should she remember?
List.
Sweet honey Greek, tempt me no more to folly.
Nay then,
For what?
oh, folk, come, tell a pin. You are a forsworn.
Cannot. What would you have me do?
What did you swear you would bestow on me?
I prithee, do not hold me to mine oath. Bid me do anything but that, sweet queen.
Good night.
Hold, patience.
How now, Troyan?
Diomed,
No, no. Good night. I'll be no more fool. I'll be your fool no more.
I better must.
hark one word in your ear.
Oh, pagan madness!
You are moved, Prince. Let us depart, I pray you, lest your displeasure should enlarge itself to wrathful terms. This place is dangerous. The time is right deadly. I beseech you, go.
Behold, I pray you.
Nay, good my lord, go off.
I prithee stay.
You have not patience. Come.
I pray you stay. By hell and hell's torments, I will not speak a word.
And so, good night.
Hey, but you part in anger.
Look at grieving with the truth.
Why, how now, lord?
By Jove, I will be patient.
Guardian, but queen.
Faux adieu, you palter.
I do not. Come hither once again.
Strokes his cheek.
Come, come.
Nay, stay, by Jove, I will not speak a word.
I will. Lo, never trust me else.
Give me some token for the surety of it.
I'll fetch you one.
She exits. Enter Cressida.
Here, Diomed. Keep this sleeve.
Rudy, where is thy faith?
My lord.
You look upon that sleeve? Behold it well. He loved me. Give it to me again.
Whose was it?
No matter now, I have it again. I will not meet with you tomorrow night. I prithee, Diomed, visit me no more.
I shall have it.
This?
I that.
Snatch it from me. He that takes that doth take my heart withal.
I had your heart before. This follows it.
You shall not have it, Diomed. Faith, you shall not. I'll give you something else.
I will have this. Whose was it?
It is no matter.
Come tell me whose it was.
One that loved me better than you will. But now you have it, take it.
Whose was it?
I will not tell you whose.
Tomorrow will I wear it on my helm and grieve his spirit that dares not challenge it.
Well, 'tis done, 'tis past, and yet 'tis not. I will not keep my word.
Why then, farewell. Thou never shalt mark Diomed again.
You shall not go. One cannot speak a word, but it straight starts you.
I do not like this fooling.
Nor I by Pluto, but that she likes not me, please me best.
What, shall I come? The hour.
Come. Oh, Jove, do come. I shall be plagued.
Farewell, till then.
Good night.
Yes.
I prithee come, Troilus, farewell. One eye yet looks on thee, but with my heart the other doth see. Ah, poor ours.
She exits. A proof of strength she could not publish more unless she say my mind is now turned whore.
All's done, my lord.
It is
Why stay we then?
to make a recordation to my soul of every syllable that here was spoke. Here she was not sure.
Most sure she was.
Let it not be believed for womanhood. Think, we had mothers. Do not give advantage to stubborn critics apt without a theme for deprivation to square the general sex by Cressid's rule. Rather think this, not Cressid.
What hath she done, prince, that can soil our mothers?
Nothing at all, unless that this was she.
Will he swagger himself out on one's own eyes?
This she? No. This is Diomede's Cressida. If beauty have a soul, this is not she. If soul guides vows, if vows are sanctimony, if sanctimony be the god's delight, if there be rule in unity itself, this is not she. Oh, Cressid, oh, false Cressid, false, false, false. Let all untruth stand by the stated name, and they'll seem glorious.
Oh, contain yourself. Your passion draws ears hither.
Enter Aeneas.
I have been seeking you this hour, my lord. Hector by this is arming him in Troy. Ajax, your guard, stays to conduct you at home.
Have with you, prince, my courteous lord, adieu. Farewell, revolted fair and Diomede. Stand fast and sear a castle on thy head.
I'll bring you to the gates.
Accept distracted thanks.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 6. Enter Ajax.
Troilus, thou coward Troilus, show thy head.
Enter Diomede.
Troilus, I say, where's Troilus? What wouldst thou? I would correct him. Were I the general, thou shouldst have my office. Hear that correction. Troilus, I say, what Troilus?
Enter Troilus.
Oh, traitor Diomede, turn thy false face, thou traitor, and pay thy life thou owest me for my horse.
Art thou there? I'll fight him alone. Stand, Diomed. He is my prize. I will not look upon.
Come, both you codging Greeks, have at you both.
They exit. Enter Hector.
Yeah, Troilus. Oh, well fought, my youngest brother.
Enter Achilles.
Now do I see thee. Have at thee, Hector.
Pause, if thou wilt.
I do disdain thy courtesy, proud Trojan. Be happy. that my arms are out of use. My rest and negligence befriends thee now. But thou anon shalt hear of me again. Till when? Go seek thy fortune.
Fare thee well. I would have been much more a fresher man had I expected thee. How now, my brother?
Enter Troilus.
Ajax hath ta'en Aeneas. Shall it be? No. By the flame of yonder glorious heaven, he shall not carry him. I'll be ta'en too, or bring him off. Fate, hear me what I say. I reck not though end my life today.
Exit. Enter one in armor.
Stand! Stand, thou Greek! Thou art a goodly mark. No? Wilt thou not? I like thy armor well. I'll flourish it and unlock the rivets all, but I'll be master of it. Wilt thou not, beast, abide? Why then fly on? I'll hunt thee for thy hide.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 8. Enter Hector and Achilles and his
Look.
Myrmidon.
Hector, how the sun begins to set. How ugly night comes breathing at his heels, even with the veil and darking of the sun. To close the day up, Hector's life is done.
I am unarmed. Forgo this vantage, Greek.
Strike, fellow, strike. This is the man I seek. So, Ilion, fall thou. Now, Troy, sink down. Here lies thy heart, thy sinews and thy bone. Oh, Myrmidons, cry you all amain. Hark, a retreat upon our Grecian part. Come, tie his body to my horse's tail. Along the field I will the Trojans trail.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 9. Sound, retreat, shout. Enter Agamemnon, Ajax, Menelaus, Nestor, Diomed, and the rest marching.
Achilles! 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 Hector's slain! Achilles!
Bruit is Hector slain and by Achilles.
Scene 11. Enter Aeneas, Paris, Atenor, Deiphobus, and Trojan soldiers.
Stand ho! Yet are we masters of the field, never go home. Here starve we out the night.
Enter Troilus.
Hector is slain.
Hector, the gods
The gods
forbid.
forbid!
He's dead. And at the murderer's horse's tail in beastly sword dragged through the shameful field. Frown on, you heavens, effect your rage with speed. Sit, gods, upon your thrones and smite at Troy. I say at once, let your brief plagues be mercy and linger not on sure destruction on.
My lord, you do discomfort all the host.
Understand me not that tell me so. I do not speak of flight, of fear or death, but dare all eminence that gods and men address their dangers in. Hector is gone. Who shall tell Priam so? Or Hecuba? Let him that will a screech owl eye be called go into Troy and say there Hector's dead. There is a word. Will Priam turn to stone? Make wells and niobes of the maids and wives, cold statues of the youth, and in a word, scare Troy out of itself. But march away. Hector is dead. There is no more to say. Stay yet. You vile, abominable tents, thus proudly pitch upon our Phrygian plains. Let time as early as he dare, I'll through and through you. And thou great-sized coward, no space of earth shall sunder our two hates. I'll haunt thee like a wicked conscience still, that moldeth goblins swift as frenzied thoughts. Strike a free march to Troy, with comfort go. Hope of revenge shall hide our inward woe.
Enter Pandarus.
But hear you.
Hence, broker, lackey. Ignominy and shame pursue thy life. Live I with thy name.
All but Pandarus exit.
A goodly medicine for my aching bones. Oh, world. Thus is the poor agent despised. Oh, traitors and bawds, how earnestly you set a work and how ill requited. Why should our endeavor be so loved and the performance so loathed? What verse for it? What instance for it? Let me see. Full merrily the humble bee doth sing, till he hath lost his honey and his sting. And being once subdued in arm and tail, sweet honey and sweet notes together fail. Good traitors in the flesh, set this in your painted claws. As many as be here of Pandar's hall, your eyes half out weep at Pandar's fall. Or if you cannot weep, yet give some groans, though not for me, yet for your aching bones, brethren and sisters of the whole door trade. Some 2 months hence my will shall here be made. It should be now, but that my fear is this: some galled goose of Winchester would hiss. Till then I'll sweat and seek about for eases, and at that time bequeath you my diseases.
The end. Woo! Good job.
Guys.
What happened to Cressida?
Live.
So yeah, we have some people on. I'm gonna moderate now, so I may go quiet, but you guys talk amongst yourselves, and I'll throw stuff in. Initial thoughts about the play when we first read it to now. What did you guys think, Troilus? What were your initial thoughts about it?
When we first read it, I went, wait, what? Like, because there were so many things happening sometimes. I'm like, wait, who is who and what, where, when? And this time when we read it, things became really clear. And you started seeing, the sides and who was on whose sides and why, why Cressida had to go there, which was really awful. But and why you agree to it, like you do things not because of emotion, but because of, as we talk about, politics, as this is what's necessary to be done. And it was it was a lot more clear. I mean, the frustrating thing and the wonderful thing about Zoom is we're able to create in the time we're in. But the frustrating thing is that we are dealing with another entity here that sometimes hinder us. Like I had some issues with the computer. I was like, not now. like it was when Preston and I were having our moment. Preston's like, Anna's crying. I was like, oh no, I can't see my lines right now. Where are they? And I don't know them. So, but it was
part of
exciting.
It becomes part of it,
Yes.
The whole idea of technology and how we put our lives in its hands, and it does what it wants.
I will say though, like not really knowing the play that well going in, it definitely made me want to really look at it now. I mean, I know we had done such a cut version, but I'm like, especially towards the end with that in the war sequence, actually. I don't know about everybody else, but I had Game of Thrones in my mind. I just kept watching and like everyone just jumping through. And that's what I kept seeing in my head when people were jumping in. I was like, oh, wait, that's my cue. So it was one of those fun things. But it's, you know, it's exciting. It's an exciting thing to do. It's an exciting play.
Anna, you have a really interesting story around Cressida. And I think that was, why don't you share that story? I love that. And I love the idea of the synchronicity there.
That I just knew the play, or?
Yeah, well, that you had really worked the play, hadn't you? You'd really worked, you knew it.
Yeah, I knew it. And I think it called to me in the way where it was like you said, it's a play that's, I mean, not so known, but not so loved. And so like, that's why I kind of love it. Cause I'm like, oh, people are like, ugh. So I don't know if I like it. It's not one or the other, right? It's not Romeo and Juliet, and it's not just something that's so, it's not super necessarily palatable to everyone. And I think that's kind of cool in the sense that it straddles a bunch of different things. And I think especially with my character, I think she, you know, she's got a lot to do to survive, to play a game and be a woman in a certain time. And if we were to place it in a different time, it still would be, it can be a modern play. You know, it can be something that's done now and something that's still appreciated, because I feel like, yeah, this is where a woman stands, you know? So I felt excited that you brought this to the table with the company, and happy to read with everyone that's so talented. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, no, a great, we have an extraordinary group of talented voices and actors that that we can go to these plays, that we can really explore them in a way. And wow, some of the big themes that come up. We talked a little bit last night about the scene where basically Cressida is kind of passed around like a party favor. Oh, I'd like to give you a kiss. And oh, I'd like to give you a kiss. Maybe funny in Elizabethan times, but the grotesqueness of that, the immediacy of that brings to mind Jeffrey Epstein. It brings the whole Ghislaine Maxwell, all of that horrificness, that she is chattel. She is a party favor or a commodity. And that was extraordinary, the conversations we had about that.
The one thing that really struck me is the intensity of a long war. I mean, that's not something that we have experienced in this group. Certainly, there's lots of parts of the world that have, you know, you think of Syria and places like that where they've been at war for a very long time, and how it changes people and how it changes the intensity of relationships. You know, that Troilus and Cressida, you know, they've obviously known each other for some time, but when they finally come together, there's this sort of instant passion that it's almost like, well, this may be our last night. Like there's always that chance that someone's going to get killed the next day in battle. And I think that really brings an interesting tension and passion to the play it's not the same as like in Romeo and Juliet. You feel a bit like, you know, it's a bit more contained, whereas it feels like there's danger around every corner. You know, somebody, you know, Troilus could leave that room and be killed. And so everything has that kind of heightened sense to it, which I didn't really expect. I didn't know the play very well. So I found that really, really interesting. And it makes it kind of, it's quite exciting actually to see that, because the human relationships and how they're impacted by this long drawn out war.
Yeah,
I didn't really know this play too well, and then when I read it and we rehearsed it the other night, I was sort of looking at it face value as a tragedy and, romance gone bad and war and everything. And then when I was, practicing it, rehearsing it again yesterday and today, I was almost, and I may be off base here, I don't know what you guys think, I was almost seeing it as a satire, like a play on war and a play on romance. And I don't know if this was Shakespeare's almost attempt at sort of a black humor, sort of satirical look at some of these issues, because it's so off base, especially if you go to sort of the original, some of the part left out. So I don't know, I kind of saw it on that level a little bit.
Yeah, it's so, what's the word, nihilistic, isn't it? It's so, it's the complete opposite to Henry V, isn't it? Which is such the glory perhaps of war. Laurence Olivier did a film version of Henry V in 1946, I think it was, during World War II, or just the end of World War II. And as a propaganda machine, sort of buoy the troops and really inspire people. But this play is just, war is just so ever present. And I said right at the very beginning that it's the third character. It's, as you said, Lou, it's around every corner, and it permeates every possibility, every possible angle of this play from all characters. And yeah, there is a darkness. I wonder if the Elizabethans would have gone, what? I don't get that. That's so weird. But we connect to it in such a different way. I don't know.
Yeah. And Paul, going off that point, when we were talking the other night, we were talking about the characters being aware of their own mythology and their own archetypes and how they sort of serve in the world. They have this metacognitive ability to see themselves. And I think that very much supports this idea that it might very well be a satire on these ideas.
Yeah, and it's a good point too, because a lot of these figures that he's depicting, are well known, from the Iliad and other writing, and yet they're not portrayed as heroic at all. Like Ulysses and Achilles, they're not heroic.
They're portrayed as very human with a lot of flaws. I mean, Achilles is kind of lazy. He's kind of doesn't want to fight. I had this image of him as this great warrior, this powerful, all-knowing warrior, and he's kind of portrayed not as that.
Yeah, like they sort of go into this whole thing trying to goad him on because he's just sitting around all the time.
Right.
Like that is an interesting take on it, Paul, that sort of satirical edge to it, because you'd think, like, why are these heroic characters being portrayed in such a way that sort of it does kind of call into question, like, what are all these guys doing? Like, it's so, and for what? There's just no reason for it anymore. So it's kind of this other
larger than life warrior, Hector, and then they finally have their fight, and it's kind of anticlimactic, and then he goes back, and when he's got all his stuff off, he goes back and he kills him. So
he's not even
got a left field.
And
what is that scene like though in the full version? Because I know Hector gets killed,
No, Hector goes back and kills Achilles, right? They slaughter him, and then he ties him to the,
Achilles kills Hector.
They drag him around.
Achilles kills Hector.
No, guys. I kill everyone.
Yeah. Cressida's behind the scenes.
Yeah, in stealth mode.
Poisoning.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And sort of it's not really irony, but I'm going to use that word. But the fact that Trojan War started because of Helen going off with Paris, and now they're just passing Cressida around. Like, it's, what are we even fighting about? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But it's an interesting flip about women of the time, because here you have Helen, who goes with the man that she loves, despite the fact that she's killing all these people, doesn't care about it. And Cressida takes like the role she has to take, where it's like, I have no, like, because of this war, I have no other choice than to go and be in this group of Greeks. It's quite the opposite kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yet we see that today also. like we see the haves and the have-nots, and those that can, you know, do what they want with impunity because, you know, they are raised at a certain level, where someone equally raised at that level, but we're not, you know, blessed with certain, I guess, either financial or political or business power, are pushed aside somewhere else. And, you know, you hold them up and they're both the same. It's just, I think that was one of the things I kept like coming back, and especially I kept hearing it tonight also, like, and seeing it, like being in and being out of it, when I wasn't in the scenes, like you can make a case that this is happening right now, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, around the world, you know, in many different countries.
Well, that's what we brought up the Epstein stuff, because I was like, Pandorus is a woman. She's, you know, Epstein. She's Giselle. She's like,
Yeah.
Right.
she's pimping me out, and it's,
Yeah.
so they're in.
Well, yeah.
It's not emotional, which is the, you know, like there's no emotion behind it. It's not because you had done something wrong or right or have something. It's not. It's just, it's a business transaction that was a necessary, you know, good for that needed to be done.
And there's like there's a lot of culture, like cultures in the world where that's all like marriage is. And so this time period, especially in England, it's like, especially at that high level of people, that's all marriage was. So I didn't read the full version though. She's pimping you out for marriage, right?
Yes, and for power and for prestige and for possibly money.
But she's okay with the Troilus matchup, right? Pandorus?
Yes, I think so. I think ideally, Pandorus.
Like she doesn't care.
No.
Really who it is, yeah.
She's opportunistic. That's why I think we had talked a little bit about the idea that Pandorus had those qualities of people that are in the news.
Weinstein.
Yeah.
Right.
Just,
but neither does Troilus in a way. He doesn't really fight that. I mean, Troilus doesn't really fight that much. I mean, if he, you know, he has, you know, power within himself and a certain amount of I guess, yeah, it's power, leverage, whatever, and means to escape and get away from it if you really love this woman the way he says he does, in that sense of risk everything, you know? But at the end, he's a soldier. He is a soldier, you know, and that's kind of what happened to him at the end. He was family first.
yeah.
Well, it's like his tragic flaw is loyalty, right? Doesn't he say that?
Yeah.
He's so faithful.
Yeah.
It's his tragic flaw.
Oh, that's me. I'm faithful. I'm the good guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
What brought you to want to explore the play, Rich?
Well, we're on a journey to perform all 36 plays that are in the first folio, and this was on the journey. And I really felt that it was one that I didn't know as well, and I love that, and I wanted to explore it. But it surprised me when you guys got at it and we started talking about it the other night. That really, I was, holy smoke! It just blew me away. Yeah, and a real hunger for it now to go back and to look at it and to really analyze it even more. This is great, but you know, I want to do productions of them all. I want that interaction with an audience and to share that. But yeah, it was what we've got. I think 11 plays left. So we've done 25. So we're getting close.
That's wild.
Yeah.
that is wild.
And some of you have been with us for 18, 20, 24 of those. It's crazy. So I wish I could tell you, Anna, I felt like the play was so relevant and I wanted to share it with the world. I really wish I could say that. but I would be false.
If I may be so bold, when we finish 36, you need to have a night that's all the female characters that are silenced or say, I shouldn't speak. Oh my goodness, I've stopped, like Cressida in this, she wants to say what she's on her mind. And then she says, no, I mustn't do that. And you mentioned like Isabella and Measure for Measure. There's all these women in Shakespeare that he consciously silences. And it would just really be interesting to see the parallels between them, because I think there's something there that he certainly was.
Even Helena in All's Well.
Yeah.
How she gets ridiculed because she does speak out.
Yeah, Shakespeare was tough on the ladies, wasn't he? He was very cruel.
No, I think he was just showing the times. He's a mirror.
I think he was being
Society is
honest.
cruel.
I think he was being honest.
Yeah.
There were
would be
no actresses at the time, or female actors, I mean, that's just the time. Can you even get to, even now.
If I may share my geekiness of my love of Shakespeare, it is not true that women did not appear on the stage in the Elizabethan era. There is proof that we found that the mask, M-A-S-Q-U-E, that appear in 2 or 3 of the plays, when they were done off campus, not at the Globe, there is belief that women actually were in the masks, so as dancers and as performers. So we have texts that prove that. So it's, I just thought that was an interesting little anecdote. Probably around 1615, 1612, just before Shakespeare dies. But we are starting to find this information, which is really, really kind of cool. So anyway.
Oh, that was great.
No, it's really interesting.
So any final thoughts on this extraordinary piece?
Well, I'm still stuck a little bit on the very end, and I'm wondering how it was for audiences in the theater. They're trying to, some of these characters, you can feel certain ways for them. And then Pandarus gets up on stage, and basically the last line is, "Here, I'm giving you all my diseases." And then like, it's such a bizarre kind of way to end it. That's what got me thinking of this sort of this satire part of it.
The word pander, he's, the root word pander. I'm just here to pander to your desires and to what you want to see.
What did you think, Megan, in the last moments as Pandarus? What were your thoughts there? That last week?
I focused a lot on the idea that he's like, you love me till you don't. Like, you all want this, you're all participating in this, and then suddenly I'm the villain. Like, here are my diseases. I'm just a part of the system that you've built. So I think it's very much and then a cautionary tale or warning to other people who pimp other people out. So like others like Pandarus, to like, this is like, I'm gonna die soon. My days are numbered, but like, here's what it's going to be like. You're going to work, people are going to love you until suddenly something happens, and then you're the villain. And I think, again, it's like pointing out one person within a corrupt system. So I guess I took Pandarus from a very empathetic view as the actor playing her, that it's like, listen, I'm just doing my part here. And I think that can be easy to villainize an individual.
Yeah. And it does feed into that notion of satire, though, doesn't it? Because I can imagine, like, even just tonight listening to it, you stop yourself and you're like, what the, like, seriously? That's it?
Yeah, it's like, Shakespeare, I have questions. What happened to that? Where did Troilus go? Like, what happened? More questions than answers that we get from this play. But that's the great mark of an extraordinary piece, isn't it? Is that it stays with you. It gets into your head and really allows you to think about it on the way home. So, yeah.
I'm just curious, Rich, why do you think it was not done as much as it was as the other plays? Like you had talked about, there's no recorded version of this play.
Yeah, there's a quote. I have this lovely quote from John Dryden, who was a contemporary of Shakespeare's, and he wrote. Let me just. I got it marked in my little book here. He says that the play was described as the work of a man whose soul is poisoned with filth.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, John Dryden. So this play, it was regarded by a lot of theater practitioners in the 17th and 18th century that it was unperformable. We could make heads or tails of this. We don't know what to do with it.
Because of the pandering and then like that scene with all the men kissing her and things like that. That's what they're saying.
I think
That's
so, but
probably
also,
what.
yeah, just the questions that this play leaves you with, that as a modern audience, we're okay. We don't need to be spoon-fed all the time. We're good going, okay, there's a little bit of question about that. It offers, us to think about it, whereas I'm assuming back then people looked at this play and said, well, what happens to Troilus? What happens to Cressida? They're the title characters. Where do they end up? They don't.
Also, they also sleep together, like immediately, and there's a lot of sexuality in the play.
Yeah.
It's really kind of just out there, like for Shakespeare's time. I could see where that's sort of Puritan ethic.
Well, there's a
Was
lot
that
of
guy-
bodiness and body scenes, and then it goes to sort of bloody battle scenes. So you can see the audience trying to figure out,
Was
wait,
that
what is,
guy that
why
quote
is the
that you
uncle
read?
doing this weird thing?
Yes,
That quote that you read's from the 1800s, though, right? It's not from Shakespeare's time.
John Dryden.
I would imagine the people that came to Shakespeare's plays were pimps and whores down on the ground. Like they probably, like the groundlings probably like really understood this play.
Mhm.
You know, like everything that's going on is like very speaking to Shakespeare's main audience. And
Yeah.
depending on when it came out, I don't know when it came out, that might have been the only people that were showing up for Shakespeare's stuff. Like,
Well, yeah, and it's a good point, Megan, because at the time there were plays called Agamemnon, and there were all sorts of other plays about the Trojan War, and I felt like Shakespeare was like, okay, I gotta get my voice into this story as well, so I'll just take this road. The Elizabethans knew that story so well, unlike us, where we sort of know a little bit, but nobody knows Hector or Nestor or maybe Achilles, but not really. So that awareness of that story, of that time, and we don't know for sure, and that's the heartbreaking thing, isn't it? We don't have that information that says, oh, Shakespeare wrote this play because it was this, and this. We don't have that. We can only guess.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of the plays, and this one's probably one of them, suffered from, the Victorians, and even in the early 1900s and certain eras where they just rejected plays because they were too bawdy, or they didn't, their own aesthetic didn't appeal to them. And then, of course, that's where you get way more of the history that is known. And so we kind of have that, I think, that carries forward. So you find plays like this where they kind of got tossed aside for long periods of time. They need to be revived in the modern era, because that we just don't know much about them, because at some point people stopped doing them because they weren't appealing to their sort of sensibilities.
Yeah, they would go to the theater, right? Like there's different versions of King Lear where it ends happy. There's different versions of Romeo and Juliet that it's a positive sort of spin, that they don't kill each other and they sort of live ever happily ever after. There was the functionality of theater, of what purpose does it serve in our lives, and how as an audience do we go to get the things that we need. So you're right. This play is probably on the top of the list of it's too cynical. It's too nihilistic. Move it on. We need something else. Let's have something that's happy and funny. That's more Hallmark than anything.
Well, people like a clear-cut hero and a clear-cut heroine, and there's really nobody like that in this. Who's the audience involved in this play?
But that's why it feels like now. It feels to me, it's always felt like, you know, a big question mark, but also the fact that for me regarding Cressida, it's like she's you know, you don't like her because she is doing what she has to do in order to live, but you like her because she's trying to, it's like, you know, I don't know. I feel like this play is now. I feel like this.
Yeah. Agreed.
We had talked about that, Anna, as well. That what choices does Cressida have?
Yeah.
What are her options? And you get the sense that the war probably surrounds her in a variety of, however you allegorize the war, whether it's the actual war, the Trojan War, or whether it's the war of these men that are you know, objectifying her. That it's Diomed, this potential sort of, you know, the rape threat that she has. Absolutely horrific to look at that, and I love that scene between the two of you tonight, between Troilus and you. The fight of will you be faithful? Will you be faithful? Yes, I'll be. Will you be faithful? And this great pause that you took, GT. It was just like,
Let's get back to you being faithful.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those choices and yeah, the darker the times, perhaps the stronger this play lives and illuminates because of that, because of we're seeing all of those different elements in it.
Maybe we weren't ready for it until now.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's a good point.
Yeah, I agree. I think that at the turn of the century, into the 21st century, shifted a lot of our thoughts, didn't it? Because we didn't know, it was all the Y2K bug. Is that going to destroy everything? A nuclear missile is going to go. What is it? That uncertainty made us cynical about perhaps things that we weren't cynical about before. So, yeah, this is that play. But again, what a treat to sit with you guys and discuss this wonderful play. I love that. And I'm forever indebted to each and every one of you for that. But if there's no other comments, then let's depart. When we'll all meet again for As You Like It next week. I'll have all that information out in the next day or so. And yeah, be safe.
Be healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yes.
All right.
Take
Wear
care.
your masks.
Wear your masks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right, guys.
Night.
Great job.
Be well. Very good.
Find your emails from
Yes, I'll send that up. I will. Good night. Good night.
Night.